Ever get that? Like, you hear a term, maybe in the news or whatever, but you don't really get it? That's me with traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, I see that.
We're diving into TBI today.
Okay, great. I'm happy to be here.
What are IS, different types, all that, because it's not just for athletes.
Right, it's much broader than people think.
We've got a definition here. It says TBI is all about disruption of normal brain function, not just a physical injury, which kind of blows my mind.
And that's key, because we often associate TBI with a visible injury, a crack in the skull. But the real issue is the disruption to how the brain works.
So like a hard fall, car accident, even a blast wave, those can all be TBI.
Exactly. You don't need a visible injury for there to be damage.
Mhm.
Think about, like, shaking a snow globe. The globe itself might look fine, but inside.
Whoa, yeah, everything's messed up.
Precisely. It's about the invisible impact.
Okay, so how do we even classify these invisible injuries? I mean, we hear penetrating versus non-penetrating. That sounds kind of self-explanatory.
Well, it's a good place to start. Penetrating, think like gunshot wound. Something actually enters the brain. Very localized damage, usually.
So like intense but contained.
In a way, yes. Now, non-penetrating, that's your concussions, falls, even whiplash.
Ah, okay, so more widespread effects.
Exactly. Like that snow globe shaken up, the impact is felt more broadly.
Makes sense why treatment would be different.
Absolutely. Each TBI is unique.
And then there's the whole mild, moderate, severe thing. But that seems almost too simple, right?
Right, that refers to the initial severity, but it doesn't predict long-term impact at all.
So someone could have a mild TBI and still have lasting effects.
Absolutely. It happens all the time. And some people with severe TBIs can recover remarkably well.
Wow. So how do doctors even determine that initial severity?
It's a few factors. They use something called the Glasgow Coma Scale, or GCS, which measures consciousness levels.
Okay, like are they responding to their name or commands?
Exactly. They also look at how long someone was unconscious, if at all,
Well,
and how long they experienced post-traumatic amnesia, or PTA.
PTA meaning like memory loss after the injury.
You got it.
So mild TBI, maybe they briefly lost consciousness, some memory issues for a bit.
Right. Moderate TBI may be unconscious for longer. Memory problems could last weeks, even months.
And severe.
Much longer periods of unconsciousness, potentially coma, and significant memory loss that can be, well, long-term.
It really has a spectrum then, not just these three boxes.
And that's what's so important for people to understand.
So for our listeners out there, what's the main takeaway?
TBI is complex. Diagnosis is just the first step. Recovery is about addressing the specific challenges each person faces, regardless of that initial severity label.
This has been a lot, but in a good way. I feel like I'm actually understanding TBI now, not just the term.
That's what I like to hear.
For our listeners, if this resonated with you, you're not alone. And there's help out there. Treatment, support, it's all evolving constantly. Remember, TBI is about more than a bump on the head. It's about our brains, these complex, amazing organs.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. Stay curious.